Hello, this is I Go Travel with Don Barnett. Say, did you hear that? What's that noise? What could that be? If you can figure out what that is making that noise, you'll have a free ticket to watch this video free of charge. What's that noise? Here is the cause. It's a marmot, a little old marmot. The resort of Whistler is named after the sound of the marmots who whistle throughout the countryside. Marmots, the whistlers of the world, are related to squirrels and prairie dogs or gophers. Like their cousins, marmots are herbivorous and hibernate in winter. Their numbers are at an all-time low due to hunting by bears, wolves, coyotes, and eagles, and by habitat loss caused by the never-ending, expanding human population. Now that we know how Whistler, one of the world's premier tourist destinations, got its name, let's go see the place. And we are going right to the top of the mountain. Hang on to your hats. We are about to gain elevation in a hurry. That reflection is from the plastic windows of our cable car. It was late spring, so there was still snow on the mountaintops. Creeks and rivers were in full flow. And that is Whistler, the main village area down below us. We're down here in the center part of the mall at Whistler. Those are the Olympic rings. This area opened up when the railway came in 1914, and logging was the first industry. Tourism rose in the 60s and really took off after Whistler was awarded the 2010 Winter Olympics. Whistler Village basically contains three areas. The upper village, the village north in blue here, and the village center down here. And we had a lot of parking areas in these big parking lots right in this area here. There are two mountain areas at Whistler. One is Blackcomb Mountain, which is off of the upper village in this direction here. The other mountain is Whistler Mountain, of course, and it's down from the village center down this way here. We were not the only motorhome in the parking lot. I thought that the rates for parking were quite reasonable. We are right in downtown Whistler, so let's stroll through the village. We walked past the art museum, characteristic dress-looking wear of the coastal people here. Let's walk down through the streets and let's see what we can see. It was early morning, so not too many people. 150 hotels and 26,000 beds in Whistler. They get a lot of tourists, but where are the hotels? You don't notice them because many are above the shops and restaurants. Just look at these buildings here. You see where the accommodations are all above on the second and third floors of the buildings. They had 20 restaurants, more than 20, could deal with 7,000 patrons at once. And many of the restaurants, of course, in the spring and summer were outdoors, about 2 hours from the Vancouver airport, with a dozen or so shuttles each day. Nice brick street here. The color matched the little stream that ran through the mall. The water was a milky color due to glaciation. The sediment in the water sometimes is referred to as a glacial flour. It is the silt or ground up rocks and gravel that enables flowing water to continually erode the landscape. It just made a nice setting in one of the malls in Whistler. And this was some artwork designs along the creek. There are two kinds of biking here at Whistler. One is mountain biking, and the other is this flat stuff like you see here. And that just suits me fine. We'll get to that style a little later. Let's look at the mountain biking at Whistler first. Right now, we are at the base of Whistler and Blackcomb Mountains. It is the place where young and keen and adventuresome people ride. These people have either just come down the mountain or they're getting ready to go up. Mountain biking is more than just exercise. It is time for nature and for fun, exploration, excitement. It is you get away from the traffic and onto scenic trails and rugged terrain. It will get your adrenaline a-pumping. These mountain bikes have wide, fat tires with rugged treads. You would tend to sit up a little more upright. Your bike suspension systems that will absorb the jolt of bumps, rocks, and roots. Extra equipment like helmets with face guards, gloves, shoes with hard protective toes, clipless pedals in which your shoes clip to the pedals. All this is part of the equipment. These two guys had just come down the mountain and they were heading in for lunch. This diagram shows the elevation of the area. At sea level down here at zero, Whistler, which is not that far from the coast, is already up at 675 meters, and we're going to take the chairlift up near the top of one of the mountains. Both Blackcomb and Whistler mountains are around the 1,800 meter mark. The bike riders are away. They ride open air lifts like this one up the mountain, attaching their bikes to the chair. Tourists like us rode in an enclosed lift or gondola, something like this one here that's coming up in a minute, right here on the left. That's what we rode in. With 30 lifts on the two mountains, those lifts can carry up thousands of skiers every hour. They were building a new bike obstacle path here. It would be used for both pleasure riding and for competitions. Just the ride up alone was worth the price of admission. There they go, bikes and riders. Out for some fun. The lift with the open chairs and bike riders separated from our route, and I did not even notice when. I guess just too much sightseeing. Our lift run was about 5 kilometers long, and we were up near the top in about 25 minutes. Hey, snow! We better be up at the top soon. Those mountains over there look about the same height as us. The views were spectacular. Looks like we're coming in for the final landing. And even more snow up here. The gondola doesn't seem to slow down hardly at all until it gets right into the confines of the building. A little bit of shaking and bump, and we are landed. Okay, let's see what's up here. There are the rings that represent the 2010 Olympic Winter Games that were held here. This snow will melt off over the summer, and next winter it will accumulate to 10 to 12 meters up here. The chairlift over here was the one that brought bicyclers up to the top here. A few years ago, they built a lift from this mountain, Whistler, over to Blackcomb, the adjacent mountain. It is about 3 kilometers over to Blackcomb, and the lift contains the world's longest unsupported span. They advertised the trip as peak to peak. Isn't this just a terrific view? It makes you feel like you're literally on top of the world. That is Whistler below, and we'll be there in another half hour or so. You see these Inukshuks quite often around today. Originally, they were built by early Inuit people to either as landmarks or to move caribou herds into areas where they could be slaughtered and used by those early people who lived on the tundra in the north, a lot of kilometers from here. There was a display area and an eating area on top. This guy looks like he is ready to ski. They had a large deck where you could grab a bite to eat and or just enjoy the sun and the view. It was a nice stop before we headed down. It was springtime and the sun really felt good. It was hard to get away, but we eventually headed back toward the chairlift. We rode the gondola up the mountain and we're headed back down now. We were leaving the snow behind us. Down, down, down. The ride back home wasn't quite as exciting as going, but it was nevertheless still a great little trip. If you do go to Whistler, take that gondola all the way to the top. All right, that's enough of that mountain bike riding. Let's do my kind of riding. Follow me. I was here several years ago. Maybe I should say several decades ago. And I was disappointed in what I thought was a small number of bike trails. I recall mainly only some along a golf course and not much more. But Whistler has done what many communities have done, and that is to expand bike routes. Whistler has the downhill challenging routes all over the mountains, but it also has bike trails in the more level areas in the valley bottom around the community. We found a lot of the paved trails like these. Sometimes we were in open places like these here, and other times we were in dense and shaded treed areas, almost biking in the heavy shade. This is a straight area here, but there were curves and turns along the way. It made it nice for really pleasurable riding. Here we go, another curve in the trail. It was interesting riding. At times, the trail got a little crowded with people, but by and large, it was basically pleasurable riding. Whoa, where did that guy come from? It paid to have a rear view mirror on your handlebars and look in it once in a while. We are back into an urban area for a while. There was never a dull moment on the trail. Like I said, it was springtime and the water was flowing. Just look and see how high this water is underneath that little bridge over there. These kids are going over the bridge that we just went over. And it's under another bridge and around the bend. Just like that water that was in that little stream that ran through the mall. And it looks like we're going over another bridge. Like everywhere, there were a few dogs on leash on the trail, but not too many. We used to get off and walk our bikes over bridges like these, but now with a little more experience, we were getting braver. And it's down the trail again. We ran into a long stretch of trees here. I can't help but keep saying it. There was a lot of variety around on these trails in Whistler. We were at this bridge once before, but look at who's coming there. Kids, youngsters, more of them. They had schools and training sessions for kids this age. Use that bell, that's what it's for. I can't stand these soft-voiced people who creep up behind you and say, excuse me. Do they not know that I'm deaf in one ear and can't hear out of the other? There are 4 signature golf courses at Whistler. Looks like we're going by a driving range of one of them. A couple of them have been designed by the old famous golfers Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer. But apparently they're all very top rated golf courses. I hope that high fence keeps all of the golf balls off the roads and trails. In addition to these asphalt trails, they're all over the place, but there's also a real network of gravel roads that are good for bike riding in the summertime. Some of these trails were Forest Service roads at one time. Also, some are used in winter as cross-country ski trails and snowmobile trails. All these roads and trails make ideal bike trails in summer. Maybe you can hear the noise of the gravel on the tires. Fat tires or wide tires do make a little more noise. The same would apply to noise on the pavement. The fat tire does make a little more noise. There are 3 area lakes, Lost Lake, Green Lake, and Alta Lake. And there are trails all around them. We found this trail right in Whistler that ran right past people's backyards. It was more of a path than a trail. There is a variety of all kinds of trails in Whistler. No dogs barked at us, so I guess we were okay. The thing about with congested area like Whistler, dogs are under control, and people respect that, and they obey common sense. We are back on a regular trail. This bridge was just a little too narrow for riding. Here we go again. We're on a downhill run. Lots of chokecherry bushes here. Bears like chokecherries, so better they like chokecherries than people. There was usually somebody out on the trail somewhere, and you often ran into them, like with this group here. And walkers with their walking sticks, they use the trails as well. Hit the subscribe button, and that will tell you when we're putting more videos on the internet. Until then, we'll see you down the trail. This is I Go Travel with Don Barnett. If you want to find more of my videos, just Google my address there. On the bottom of the card it says Google at Don Barnett 5090. Click my name, hit the word playlists in the middle of the page, and scroll down. Each playlist contains several travel videos.